Do you know your gap? You know, where you are versus where you want to be. What is that gap? In order for you to improve, in order for you to get the job that you want, for example, you need to understand what that gap is so that you can close the gap. And in order for you to know where the gap is, you need to know what it is that you want. So, for example, whatever chair that you're in, let's speak about your work today. The work chair that you are in, if it's in the balcony or in general admission, and you aspire to be in the front row with your work chair, what does it look like? What is the title? What is the responsibility? What is the level of influence of that job? And the job that you have now versus that job that you ultimately want, the difference is the gap. In order for you to close the gap, there are three things to look at because you have the skills gap, you have the networking gap, and you have the aspiration gap. So let's start with the skills gap. What skills are necessary to have that position? What skills are necessary for you to be to excel in that position versus what skills do you currently have? So that gap is, it's up to you to go out and gain what those skills are. And it's pretty simple to figure out what skills are necessary. You simply look at the job description of the job that you want and look at the skills that you have versus the skills that you need and go out and get those skills. The second one is a networking gap. You know as well as I do that anytime you are promoted, you have to be known. People need to know you. So are you networking with the right people? Do the right people know of your skills and your ability? Do the right people know of your aspirations, of your desire to have that promotion or to have that job? So what's the networking gap? Who do you need to know and who needs to know you in order for you to get not only considered for that job, but to be appointed that job or to be promoted into that job? And then finally, the aspiration gap. Who has overcome the adversity that you need to overcome in order for you to get to what you want? Every successful person in the world has gone through some sort of a journey to get to their place. So what did they have to overcome? What lessons did they have to learn? What did they have to do to persevere to get to their position? So the aspiration gap is simply for you to go and study people who have what you want, or study successful people and get inspired by their tenacity, get inspired by their journey, get inspired by how they overcame what they needed to overcome to get to where they are. So today, look at where you are versus where you want to be, decide what your front row seat is, and then look at the gap, the skills gap, the networking gap, and the aspiration gap. And once you can look at those gaps, it gives you some motivation to go out and close those gaps. So good luck with that. Happy Front Row Friday, and we'll see you in the front row. See you next time.